Hi guys, and welcome to another video of Ancient Greece Reloaded. In this video we will talk about the mystic messages in Homer's Odyssey. Before we jump into it, please do not forget to like our video and to subscribe to our channel. In this way you help others by spreading the word of the project called Ancient Greece Reloaded, and we thank you for that, guys. Also, look at the video description below, in which we provide direct links to all of the source material that has been used for this video. Finally, if you can spare a dime, support our project through Patreon. That would mean a lot to us. To our subject. So as to illustrate Homer's hidden messages, first we need to have a quick look on the overall situation that Odysseus faced once he arrived at his home, aka his kingdom and castle of Ithaca. The background of the story. As you all know, or at least should know, after the Trojan War, Odysseus set sails towards Ithaca, his home. So, what's the problem? You see, there was a small problem to his journey back home, and that problem had a name: Poseidon. Yep, god Poseidon was seriously pissed at Odysseus of playing a major role in the destruction of Troy, and of course, of taking care of a certain Cyclops. What ego of Poseidon, you may wonder? You see, guys, a certain story states that Poseidon and Apollo built or oversaw the constructions of the Trojan Wall, and Poseidon was so proud of it by claiming that these walls were impenetrable. Truth be told, Troy was destroyed from within, you know, Trojan horse. But still, Troy fell, and that pissed off Poseidon. The other instance was when Odysseus blinded Polyphemus, the famous Cyclops. You see, that specific Cyclops also so happened to be one of Poseidon's children, and Odysseus did not just blind him, but Odysseus also literally trash-talked the crap out of him. So to make the long story short, it took Odysseus 10 years to reach Ithaca, and to do that he had to overcome a plethora of ridiculous obstacles. Monsters, being catapulted all around the world, etc., you name it, you have it. Eventually Odysseus reached his home and realized that all of them thought that he was killed in Troy. Remember, 10 years passed and no emails or smartphones at that time were available. In any event, and during his absence, rich schmucks appeared that wanted to get their hands on Odysseus' kingdom and at his wife Penelope, and his son Telemachus, who was a prince, couldn't do crap to stop them. The schmucks are known as the Suitors of Penelope, in Greek Ministires, and they were insulting Odysseus' home, wasting his kingdom's wealth, mistreating his people, and the list goes on and on. To the main story and our analysis. Once Odysseus understood what was going on, he got seriously angry, and as he was about to crash the party, he stopped. And as you were wondering why he stopped, remember three major facts. 1. Odysseus was not just strong, but he also was the smartest of all of his allies in the Trojan War. As a matter of fact, Odysseus was the most wicked warrior among all, allies and enemies, and he was the most favored by the goddess Athena, which leads us to point 2. Goddess Athena is practically the brains of Mount Olympus, highly intellective, smart with an IQ that shoots out of the roof, strategic and so forth, and if by any chance she could not reason with you, well, Athena would beat the crap out of you because she was also ridiculous strong, and yeah, she was Zeus' favorite child, which leads us to point 3. Athena appeared before Odysseus so as to help him deal with these idiots. What happened next? In a nutshell, Athena transformed Odysseus into a homeless beggar, which allowed Odysseus to sneak into his palace to observe the situation, to see that his wife was still loyal to him, respect to Penelope, to realize that his son was ready to go whenever Odysseus would give the signal, to screen the suitors, which obviously enough Odysseus classified all of them as dead meat, and to devise a strategy. To do that, Odysseus had to keep up with all of the suitors' insults. Remember, guys, he was transformed as a beggar. As a side note, the only one that saw behind the transformation was his loyal dog that, after a lick-hack session, died. Lesson 1. What does Homer teach us here? What is his hidden message? Odysseus embodies rationality and strategic thinking, bless you Athena, and what matters is not a blind brute force attack, but achieving the objective, which was to free his kingdom, kill the suitors, and get his family back. What Odysseus did was to study his enemies, to understand them and to fight them if necessary, even with their own weapons. Consequently, when the time came, Athena transformed Odysseus back to his original form, and then Odysseus, as he locked the suitors inside the big hall of the palace, he did strike them down without mercy. And now we are ready to proceed to the actual meat of this video. the etymology and the secret mystic messages. Just keep in mind that because the number of the Suitors is big and due to the video's time constraints, we will focus on the most famous of the Suitors, which were. I will use Greek pronunciations here: Antinos, Evrymachos, Amphinomos, Aielaos. What is also crucial in order to understand the secret messages of Homer is to know the order in which Odysseus killed the Suitors. The Latin names of the Suitors do not allow you guys to analyze anything, because to do so you need to know ancient Greek. The Greek version of the aforementioned names is as follows. By the way, the names are listed in the order the Suitors were killed. First in line was Antinos. The two words that make up that name are Antinos. Evrymachos, the two words that make up that name are Evrymachos. Amphinomos, the two words that make up that name are Amphinomos. Aielaos, the two words that make up that name are Aie and Laos. So, what does the name Antinos stand for? It is a combination of two words, anti-nos, aka anti-noisi, and translates as instead or against of the mind or the judgment. He stands for all communication tools that are utilized against your mind and will. In other words, antinos represents everything that clouds our mind and our judgment, everything that does not allow us to think clear. And once someone is able to control your mind, it's pretty much game over for you. Hence Antinos is the most dangerous one, and that is why Homer describes him as something like the leader of the wrecked pack of the Suitors. Today Antinos would represent propaganda, twisting of words and conceptions, twisting facts, controlling the masses' minds or ideas, controlling the mass media, etc. And that is also why Odysseus killed him first, to avoid his mind to become clouded. If you guys are into the occult or the new age stuff, we are pretty confident that you heard expressions like the mind over the body. The mind controls everything, we see not with our eyes but with our mind, and so forth. Coincidence? We think not, the way Homer used it. But what is more interesting is the fact of how Odysseus killed Antinos. Odysseus shot down Antinos with an arrow at Antinos' throat, the organ of speech. In other terms, Odysseus silenced Antinos once and for all. Next on the list is Evrymachos, which is a combination of two words, Evrymachos, and translates as he who fights with every means, even with unjust means, fair or unfair, honorably or not. It does not matter. What matters is to achieve victory at any cost, fighting with no mercy. And that is why, after Odysseus was able to protect his mind, he killed Evrymachos. To get a better idea, imagine it like this. First, you protect your mind, your judgment, which allows you to keep you cool at any given moment and to not be affected by the enemy's propaganda. Then you take down the enemy's military force. You do get the idea, correct? And to give you an even better idea, what does contemporary military tactics teach? First, take down the enemy's communications, their brains, and once in disarray or in the dark, attack their forces. That being said, next in line to be killed was Amphinomos, which is a combination of two words, amphi and nomos, and translates as the one that twists the law and the order of things. He's dangerous because you do not know when he will betray you or when he will disrupt the order of things. Today, we could call such a person a two-faced bloody bastard. Anyway, so after Odysseus took down his enemy's communications and military strength, he proceeded by smoking Loki's ass, hence Odysseus had cleared his flanks and his back as well. Finally, left was his front, namely Aielaos, which is a combination of two words, Aielaos, and translates as he who leads, in a negative sense, the masses, he who turns the people into brainless mobs with the help of Antinos. And that is why Odysseus killed Antinos first and Aielaos last. So as to help you guys understand how Odysseus destroyed his enemies, it's as follows. First, he took down communications, propaganda, etc. Information flow was all his. Then he destroyed the enemy's military strength. Afterwards, he proceeded by killing the one that could throw Odysseus into disorder, even if the two previous enemies were killed. In other terms, he made sure that his enemy could not launch a counterstrike. Hence, he managed to cause disorder in the ranks of his enemies instead. Finally, Odysseus cleared his kingdom from the brainless mob's masses. Remember, Antinos was killed first, hence brainless, aka there was no one to lead Odysseus' enemies. In today's military terms, that would be something like clearing the leftovers after the main battle so as to zero any possibility of an enemy to cause future distress. Okay guys, we will end the video here. If you want more details, we have the link to the full article in the video description below. Also, do not forget to like our video and to subscribe to our channel so as to support the project of Ancient Greece Reloaded, to spread the word, and, if you so can, support us on Patreon as well. Thanks for watching and hope to see you around in our upcoming videos. Thank you.